First of all, thank you for being open to this podcast because it was much needed.
Thank you so much for having me over here because same is the case with me. Uh, Being from this field, people tend to ask a lot of questions. So it's always better to answer all the questions which are coming in the way.
Okay, so without further delay, before we get into anything else, I want to start with a very direct question that you are a psychologist and you have 19 years of experience. So, why are you talking about money on a healing podcast?
You described it very nicely. Uh, 19 years, 6,000 hours of coaching. When I meet people, when it comes to the topic of money, it's never exactly just about money. There are many aspects of life which are governed by money, like your self esteem, then your career growth, your relationships, your children. So, there are multiple aspects to it. One gets disturbed, which we call money. When that is disturbed, I see that this creates a belief system and a belief pattern in people, and that actually results into repercussions in every facet of life. So actually, if you look at it, uh, healing and the corporate life that I come from, where I do behavioral training and corporate coaching as well, they are not very different actually. So that's how it is. So that's why we are talking money today.
How many of your clients come to you specifically because of financial
If you
blocks?
ask me now, in the past 4 or 5 years, I have seen almost 70% of my clients come for money blocks, especially money blocks, because what they don't realize is they probably will not be using the term like money block, but they use terms like I can't save, my savings are not happening, I'm unable to give money to my family, I'm able unable to pay for this, I'm unable to buy any property, I'm unable to get a career progression, and so on and so forth. So it's not basically money that they're talking about, they're talking about different phases, but then it boils down to the root, which is money.
So, what does that actually look like when someone walks in for this specific problem?
When someone comes to me for a specific problem, see, basically, I am a psychologist. And then I moved into healing after quite some time because it's an extension of coaching and psychology, I believe. So, whenever the person comes in for the first time, whoever my client is, maybe a corporate client or a person who's completely lost it and is coming for healing, the first thing I do is analyze. Being a science student, that is the best that I can do. So, when it comes to analysis, what I analyze is what is the belief system of this person. What are the thought processes going on, which is boiling down to the choices which are being made, and then we start with the process of finding the root cause. So finding the root cause, it can be anything, right from the belief system in this present life, which can be a result of the childhood or a belief system of his past life. But I'm open to both. Being a psychologist, that is what I find, right? So it can be anything of that. So what I do is, if the person is open to a lot of things, I go ahead with regressions best, because when you allow the person to go into regression, the subconscious mind actually brings out the belief system in the person, which helps to identify what is the root cause and the belief system of the person. So that is the first step that I usually take when a client comes in for the first time.
Very nicely answered. So, if I ask you what is the most common thing people say to you when they first describe their financial situation, is there any particular phrase you hear a word and
Yes,
hear?
there are some very common phrases which I find people use when they come to me. Um, Phrases like, I don't know what's happening. I am putting in so much of effort. I still don't know what I'm doing. It is not like I don't understand money, but it's still just not working out. I'm unable to save anything. Whatever I'm earning, it's just going out. Most of the time, they are like, help me understand what am I doing wrong. And that is the belief system which I need to break, because it's not about the people which is creating blocks. It is something else. And that is what we need to first reprogram in the person's mind, that you are not the problem. Their problem lies somewhere else. And that is what we need to identify.
Let's start with your own story. You discovered that past life regression through a very personal crisis in your own life, right? Did your relationship with money ever play a role in your own healing journey, or was it purely the conception story?
Honestly, I would say to certain extent, yes. Because when you talk about your personal crisis, I don't mind discussing it. Um, I did not have a child for a very long time. So, which means that I had exhausted every other option which was given to me, be it astrology, be it doctors, be it medical tests. So, definitely money was involved. The last resort, as you know, I come from a science background, a very logical one was, if this doesn't work, I think I would have tried for an IVF, or probably I would have gone in for adoption. So yes, money definitely was one of the criteria, but a bigger criteria was, I need to have something which is lacking in my life. The very presence is lacking in my life. And somehow I realized that it is not just that I want it, because I don't know whether I believed I would be able to actually bring up a child on my own. So that was another thought process which I had in mind. So yeah, so personal crisis along with money, both were equally you know part of this journey. It was only the conception story, because honestly I was working full time in the corporate world, climbing ladders in my career. Husband was well settled. uh, that way, financial issues were not to that extent. It was mainly we were desperate to have a child. 7 years is a long time post marriage when you don't have a child. So there is a lot of social pressure as well, parental pressure, because our society is such where there are a lot of things associated with a married couple. It's not just the two in the marriage, there are multiple elements attached to it. The most common dialogues which I heard was, when are you going to get serious about having a child? So that was the most funniest of it, because it was as though I didn't want a child, and we will take care of it. That was another dialogue which I heard from many, in fact. But what they didn't realize was, nobody asked me how I felt. I think I would like to mention here about my mother in law. My mother in law was so supportive. She was like, I understand the way you're feeling. It is okay. You can just ignore the people. I know what you're going through. So don't worry too much about it. I am with you, and I'm praying to God every day things will change. So that was her belief. So, you know, in an Indian family, to get a support from your in laws, especially, that is very, very, very critical, I believe, because it anchors you, it grounds you to the family very firmly. And that's how I feel about it. Would like to clarify one thing. Even after being a psychologist into corporate and doing corporate trainings and behavior trainings, then further moving on to coaching, I never shifted from that particular career into PLR and Akashic. It is something like, this is an extension of coaching. Initially, I was into behavioral training, then I moved into coaching, because I thought that, training is something, some element is missing, where, we are trying to do a one size fit all. So, that is not something which I believe in. I myself is a person who believes in freedom and choice. That's the most important keyword for me. So I moved into coaching to ensure that I will be able to explore and give choices to people of what they are comfortable with. But then eventually coaching also, after through 2 3 months, I find the same clients are returning. Aditi, I have the same patterns, I'm having the same thoughts, I'm unable to do these things. So that made me thinking as what is it that is going to change them. And when I was reading and researching, because this is very, very heartbreaking, being into psychology, being into behavioral trainer, it's very heartbreaking when you find that your clients are returning. So it's something like, there is something called as first call resolution. So that was not happening. That is something which I have been ingrained right from the beginning of my career. So first time a client is coming in, why is it the client is not getting 100% resolution? And that made me actually do a lot of research. And I realized that, well, I had taken help of past life regression in my past. Why not extend it into a career? Because this is going to be just an extension of what I do. Whatever is required, the client can pick and choose. But it shouldn't be that my client is going away unhappy, because everything again revolves around money. Whenever you come for therapies like this, whether it is a counseling therapy, a psychological counseling therapy, or coaching, or whatever other therapy that you come for, there is a lot of money which is involved. And there are a lot of people who need help, but because of the money blocks that they face, they are unable to actually get help. So that is the reason why I thought this extension should help them. Because again, like I said, it's not like one size fits all. So when you get to the root cause of the problem, that is when you find out that yes, this person needs this particular resolution for the belief system to change. Because at the end of the day, being a psychologist, you need that cognitive restructuring in your mind for the belief system. That can happen with anything. So be it training, be it coaching, be it PLR, or be it Akashic, these are just the mediums to achieve that end result.
There are many healers and coaches I speak to carry their own complicated relationship with charging for their work, receiving money, or valuing what they offer. Did you experience any of that, and how did you work through it?
To be very honest, yes, this was one belief system that even I had. Um, why should I charge from people who are actually coming to me for help? Because most of the clients now who come to me, who are not corporate clients, they come for healing, right? They tell me that this is my money block, and there is this moral dilemma that we coaches or healers undergo, that should I be charging, should I be charging less, should I be charging more? But I have worked through this belief system, and I have ans- asked questions to myself regarding this. The first question that I asked myself, and every coach and healer should ask themselves, is would people be coming to you had you not been qualified enough? That's the first question. Because if the coach or healer is not qualified enough, why should people come to you? They will come to you after they know you, after they have heard you, after they understand you, after they believe in your thought process. So if you haven't become qualified, they will not come to you, because you won't be able to talk about it. Does qualification comes cheap? No, it doesn't. You have to invest a lot of money when it comes to qualification. It is not just, it's something like the way you pay for your graduation, you pay for your masters, you pay even for the entrance exam. In fact, you have to pay even for the brochure of the college you want to seek admission to. So it is something like, for you to become qualified, you have to do a lot of investment in yourself, monetary investment. Because the knowledge that we are talking about over here, be it coaching, be it Akashic, be it past life regression, you have to learn it. So I learned it, and there is still more to it. I mean, I have learned it, I have come to a level where I can help people, but my knowledge is still like a drop in the ocean. There is so much more. And for me to upgrade myself to that level, even I would need money. So, to answer to your question, do not ever undervalue yourself, because you need to understand that you are reinvesting that money in yourself, in your education, so that you can help someone else in a more better way. So, that is my belief. So, uh, first of all, coaches need to realign themselves, healers need to realign themselves, that it's okay. Do not undervalue yourself. Please charge what your inner soul tells you, what your inner thoughts tell you.
Let's define the problem clearly for our listeners. What exactly is a financial block and how is it different from simply not having enough income?
When it comes to low income, okay, uh, I would credit it for the skill factor. As in, when you have low income, you probably have to upgrade your skills and then look for a new job and new avenues to earn money. Or probably you have to upgrade yourself in the process of managing your wealth and money in a way where it increases. Like, probably some courses, or, studying how to manage money and invest money. So that is the skill based learning. That is about low income. But when we talk about financial blocks, you will find that you are skilled, you have all the knowledge that you need, but still the money is not coming the way you want it. Either money flow is very less, or the money is coming but you are unable to save it before the salary or the business amount, or whatever, if you are in business, the amount that you're supposed to get paid, before that even hits your account, you realize that there are 10 other different things for which I have to put that money. And you realize that even though the figure looks huge, maybe a six figure or a seven figure every month, but before that even stays for 2 or 3 days, you realize it's all gone. Maybe a three figure or a four figure that's left in your account. That is what we understand by money blocks. So here it is not about the skills, here it is about the money is just not staying in your account. That is the difference between the two.
Okay, if someone is listening right now who earns well, works hard, has done financial planning, read every month every money mindset book and still cannot seem to hold on to money or reach the next level. So what is actually going on for that
A
person?
lot of things which get affected when money is not coming in or when it is not staying. This simply looks that we have to find the root cause of what actually is happening, and why is the money leaking away from you. So what we need to do is understand what exactly, we have to first eliminate the skill factor, if that is the situation, because there are some people who do have some problems with managing money as a skill. So we need to first eliminate that possibility, and then analyze and understand what exactly are the other things which are happening. Is it just him or her as a person, as the client, or are there patterns which are seen in their thought process? Being a psychologist actually helps me to trace those patterns, the thought process, because when they come to me and I ask them questions, I can actually see their thought processes and belief systems. So there are ways where the client actually gives up the thought process and belief system. Like, for example, I have to do this, but why is it a compulsion? So this have word probably the client just used, but it is a subconscious message to me that this is part of the belief system which is faulty. That needs to change. And most important, the client needs to understand the problem is not with the client, it is about the belief system. Sometimes the client also comes to me and tells me, it's not just me. My brother has the same problem, my father had the same problem, my cousins have the same problem. It just runs in my family. That can be one. So it looks like a ancestral pattern. For a psychologist, what I see is this person from his childhood or her childhood has always seen that there is a problem, And instead of blaming the situation of or self, they've decided to give it a name of, you know, some ancestral dosh or karmic patterns. So that can be one. There are also belief systems where I have seen where the client actually has seen just poverty in the childhood, trying to grow up. And then sometimes what they don't realize is they're struggling so much that they forget to actually celebrate the little victories that they get when they actually are surpassing their so called ancestors. So, when you have a lot of struggle in your childhood, especially when it comes to money, you're unable to celebrate a lot of things.
Uh, you talk about financial blocks having roots that go beyond this lifetime. For someone with a completely rational, logical mind, walk them through how that is even possible. What is the mechanism behind it?
Okay, when you talk about a rational mind, I myself is one part of it. Okay, so I will include myself in that. And why I came to be a believer in this is because, not that I am very superstitious and I believe in some old wives' tale, as the saying goes. It is something which I have experienced as a psychologist. Being a psychologist actually helps me because it helped me to actually go ahead and analyze what is the root cause. I, as a psychologist, will always prefer going to the root cause of any problem. So don't believe me that the problems might life in the past life. There are many cases which I come across who actually have problems in their present life, childhood. So the work that I need to do is heal that unhealed portion, recreate a belief system. So that is the aim of this process. You need not actually believe in Akashic, you need not actually believe in past life regression. But if you believe in psychology, that it is a very realistic science, then you need to also understand that past life regression, and or we can just call it regression as well, not necessary that it can be only past life, it can be a present life regression as well. But these are just extensions of the processes that we actually do in the therapies, psychotherapies. These are extensions. So it depends on the person. I invite my clients to come with an open mind, and then after exhausting a lot of options that they have in mind, then I decide or let them decide what way they would like to move ahead with the challenge. Because problem is a word I actually do not want to use, because the word, when you say it is a problem, that itself creates a lot of burden. So it's just a way, other word that I use, a challenge which can be overcome. So these are some of the things which I have generally seen people come and tell me about, the blocks.
What are the common past life patterns that you see when it comes to money? Are there any recurring patterns, any vows of poverty, experiences of loss, specific lifetimes that keep coming up?
Actually, yes, there are a lot of common themes which I have seen, when dealing with especially financial blocks. There are some unique cases which I've handled in the last few months, but the common ones I would like to, discuss with you. The common patterns which I've seen. First one is, there are many people who in the past life actually wanted to pursue education. Okay, and they wanted to pursue only education, but due to some other responsibilities and associated areas of their life in the past life, they couldn't. And in this life, that is why they come with a one point agenda: I want to learn. But then in the process, what they forget is, we also need money to learn. And that's how the financial blocks come in. So that is one. Yes, it cannot be, I cannot directly label it as the vow of poverty, but it actually falls under that category only, because here you are talking about only education and not money. But education and money, they both go hand in hand. It's something like two sides of the same coin. So when you put two things differently, they are different. But what you need to understand as a person, they are two sides of the same coin. So that is one. I have also seen where people have taken loans from others, couldn't repay it back, and they come back with a belief system in this life that, I have to return a lot of money. So they will keep on taking loans and they keep on repaying the loans. If this part and the belief system doesn't get healed, they spend their entire life repaying that loan to different people. I have had cases like that as well. Then there are cases where, you know, wealth caused a lot of problems in your lives, past lives. So you tend to repulse wealth in the present life. That causes money blocks. I have seen cases where, especially women, if the soul has reincarnated as a woman in their previous birth, they have been stolen of their valuables on the way and have been killed after, a lot of hardships on the way. That actually causes a block because their belief system or their last thought at the point of their death is, this wealth actually got me into problem. So they bring that system along with them in this present life. They try to repulse their wealth. You'll find that such people, when they come for a healing session or for a regression session or even Akashic session, they will say, I feel scared to look at money. If I have more money, more people will come and attack me for no reason. Thieves will come. I can't keep money in my bank because bank will rob me. I can't keep money at home because thieves will come. So it is when they talk, we realize what sort of a belief system have they brought in. So these, and then yeah, there are also situations where, this particular soul may have demanded and extracted money forcefully from other different people. So if you've done that, well, you are going to have a fear that somebody else is going to snatch away that money from you. I've had cases like that as well. So these are a few patterns which I have seen. Many cases fall under these, generally these broad heads of money block categories. A client of mine, he is a very known acquaintance for quite some time, had come to me and he had exactly said that, I don't know what I'm doing. I know how to manage my money. He's done his master's in business administration from a good reputed college, which means he knows how to manage money. Okay. Then this fellow, he comes to me and tells me, I don't know where my money is going. I'm earning so much, but it is like, I'm giving money to this person, I'm giving money to this person, I'm giving money to this person, and they don't even return it back to me. I said, why don't you ask them? Please return my money. And he is telling me, I just can't. When I go in front of them, they sit happily, chit chat with me. No mention of the loan that they have taken from me. But I feel awkward to ask for my own money to be returned. This is what happens. So when I did an Akashic for this, he understood what exactly was the problem, and we decided to cut cords with that life, because that is also very important. It is one of the part of the belief systems that we create, where you cut cords or the karmic cords with that particular past life. So when you cut cords with that life, you no longer carry the belief system in the present life. But how it works is, it is just symbolic. Okay. um, Cutting cords is also very important, but symbolism over there is also very important, because you're in a trance state. You actually physically disconnect yourself from that particular belief system, and when you come in the present times, what needs to be done is cognitive recalibration. So there are different affirmations which are given so that the person doesn't revert to those habits. How to create boundaries and other things associated with, the post session. So that is called as, the briefing which happens, or the interface where the person is made to understand how to actually execute the system. So this is what is required, and this is what should be done uh, post any Akashic or past life regression, it is very important. Integrating the belief of what was seen and how you can change it in the present life.